Hey everyone, welcome to a WhyHeForge deck review. In this video, we're going to go through the Prime Statistician of Strathland. Not quite sure where Strathland is, but we have your Prime Statistician. So stay tuned, we're going to dive right in here. This is a Sanctum Brobnar Shadows deck. And before anyone comments, I know we're missing the Brobnar pin. It's the only one we don't have. So stay tuned though, and we're going to get right through this deck. All right, so the first house we're going to go through here is Shadows. Shadows is always a fun one. Generally lots of stealing, just lots of fun. I love playing with Shadows. So the first guy we have here, and this is a fun and crazy one to play with. You have to be very careful with this card, is the Sting. So the Sting, you skip your Forge a Key step, but all amber that your opponent spends on a key goes into your side. So it's awesome because you can get lots of amber really quick, but you got to be careful because if you get stuck somehow not being able to play Shadows, you are stuck not forging a key until you can play Shadows and use the sacrifice, the Sting. So you got to be careful with that. Then we have a Poison Wave. Again, this is kind of why I like Shadows. Most of their cards are kind of risky to play with. This one here, you would have to damage every creature on the board. So you just have to be very careful with this card and when you play with it. So we have Relentless Whisper times 3. And this, this is a lot of fun. You can use this two ways mostly. One, you can use it to damage your opponent and gain some amber. Or with a bad penny combo, you can use it and then you can steal. So it doesn't really do you any harm to kill bad penny, put her back in your hand, gain an amber plus steal. And guess what? There are 2 bad pennies in this deck. So you can double bad penny, double Relentless Whisper. You would get 4 amber if your opponent has some to steal. So it'd be a lot of fun. Then we have an Umbra. Umbra is always fun. It's got scrimmage, always willing to take that in, fight with, try to steal, keep your opponent. Then we have an Urchin. Urchin's fun to just play and annoy. Again, this is why I like Shadows. They kind of get annoying. As weak as they are in power-wise, you still have to respect them, and you still have to find a way to deal with them. Then we have a Nexus. A Nexus has Elusive. This one's fun, but can kind of find that this card becomes very useless due to the fact that sometimes your opponent doesn't have artifacts, so really you're just kind of reaping. So it's not that it's useless, I guess, just that I don't find much use for it. Then we have Magda the Rat. Magda the Rat is fun and risky, again, because you are stealing 2, but then you are also losing 2 when she goes out of play. So she's really good to put next to something like a Tunk, where they would get taunt, or put something next to like a Shadow Self where you can kind of keep it alive more. Then we have a Silvertooth, comes into play ready. Great first hand play if you're going first, ready and can reap. So that's the Shadows there. Let's dive into the Sanctum. So we have first, we have Protect the Weak. This creature gets +1 armor and gains taunt. Really nice, again, if you're trying to use this to protect some of your Shadows cards that you don't want to leave. We have 2 Hollowed Blasters in this deck. Lots of fun, lots of healing, keeping creatures alive. It kind of seems to be what Sanctum does. Then we have the Round Table. I love this card in Sanctum. It's a lot of fun. It's one of the rares in this deck. Each friendly knight creature gets +1 power and gains taunt. So you're buffing them up, and if you spread your Sanctum creatures, your knights and stuff, or spirits out really well, then you can essentially protect every other creature from being attacked and force your opponent to only attack your Sanctum creatures, but then you're healing them with Hallowed Blaster, so it's not as bad. You don't mind them. Most of them have shields. They're pretty good. Plus you get an amber. Shield of Justice, again, another fun card. Gain an amber, and then for the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature cannot be dealt damage. Great to keep or maybe archive to pull when you know you're about to get demolished by maybe a Brobnar or something. In terms of redress, this one's fun. Choose a friendly creature to capture 2. Just can kind of keep your opponent from forging a key real fast. We have Honorable Claim. Each friendly night creature captures 1. This is a good card. Gives you an amber, stops your opponent. But in this deck, there aren't as many creatures for Sanctum as I'd like to see with a Sanctum, so it's very hard to really get much out of that. Then we have Cleansing Wave. Heal 1 damage from each creature, gain 1 for each amber healed this way. I love this card. It's pretty nasty, especially if you drop the Poison Wave with the shadows beforehand and you deal 2 damage to every creature. Then you come back and heal it. Lots of amber. Lots of amber can be dealt with that. Then we have Staunch Knight. Staunch Knight is fun. Staunch Knight gets 2 power while it's on the flank. One of the things I'm learning with Sanctum is you really have to be very strategic with where you put them on your battle line, and you really kind of want to do almost every other, it seems like. That way you're either getting, taunt with people, protecting your other creatures. They do a really good job of keeping the shadows in this deck safe. Then we have Commander Remiel. Use a friendly non-Sanctum creature. Always great to use more creatures that aren't on the house that you're calling. Sequis, we have 2 of those. Reap, capture 1. Again, lots of fun. Good cards to split between reaping, capturing. When you reap and then capture, you're throwing the game. You're changing the game by 2 amber. So you're 2 up on your opponent because you've captured 1. That's 1 less they can spend. Plus you have 1. So it's a great way to kind of balance the game. So that is the Sanctum there. Again, I believe there was only 1, 2, 3, 4. Really only 4 creatures, so not a very creature heavy deck for Sanctum. All right, getting into the Brobnar. So this is fun. I actually played this deck without looking at the deck list or anything that was in it, and I was extremely happy when I got the last card that I'm going to show you. So we have War Chest here. Gain 1 for each time enemy creature is destroyed in a fight. Always fun. You know that you're going to be fighting with Brobnar. Gauntlet of Command. Again, lots of fun. Allows you to get more creatures to fight, which is always good with War Chest. And I'll loot the bodies here. For a minute of the turn, gain 1 for each time an enemy creature is destroyed. So potentially lots of amber just between those. Then you throw in a War Song. It just starts to get crazy with the Brobnar. If you can get 3, 4 creatures out for Brobnar, and then you play Loot the Bodies, if you have Gauntlet of Command, and then you have War Chest, that is 4 cards essentially that you're going to get 1, 2, 3 if you can fight and kill the amber. Just for fighting and kill, or you'll get 3 amber just for fighting and killing a creature. So per creature. So it can get crazy. War Song is fun. Anger, again, ready and fight with a friendly creature. If you can archive or just build your hand up, you get those 2 artifacts down first, you can really go crazy with this Brobnar, and we absolutely have in the games we've played, just gone nuts. We had 1 turn where we did 12 amber in 1 turn with just the Brobnar. Took a little setting up, but we were able to do it. And then another War Song, meant to have those in order. And then Coward's End. It's not really cowardly to play this. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But if you're going to say this card's cowardly, then you almost got to say that Gateway to Death is cowardly. This card here, destroy each creature. Undamaged creature, gain 3 chains. Very hard to play. You want to try to make sure your creatures are damaged. But if you're playing Brobnar, you're probably fighting and you're probably going to damage you. Anyways, another Anger. So we got Crump. It says each time an enemy creature is destroyed, fighting Crump, its controller loses 1. again, just kind of changing the balance of the game. Then we have Headhunter. Here we go. So if you got War Song, Loot the Bodies, War Chest on, with Headhunter, when he fights, you will gain, and if he would just destroy his opponent, you would gain 4 amber just from him fighting. So you really want Headhunter fighting. Valder, kind of one of the, seems to be the most seems to be the bad penny of Brobnar. Generally always got one in every Brobnar deck. So then we have Khalifi Dragon. I drew this mid-game. Like I said, I didn't look at the deck. I didn't see the list when I first played. Just shuffled up and played and drew this. And I love this card. It's a lot of fun. It's crazy fun. It's very hard to play. I actually got kind of stuck. Ended up losing the game because I was just trying to get this dragon out. But I thought it had been worth it. In the next game I played with it, I was very much easy to get. I found it very easy to get this guy out. A little bit more than I was expecting. The reason it's hard, it says Khalifi Dragon cannot be played unless you have 7 or more amber. And that gets hard because you really kind of have to be at like 5 or 4 at the beginning of your turn, or have a way to get, 7 amber in a turn, or 2 7 amber on your Brobnar turn. So in other decks, it might be easy if you're playing Logos and you can phase shift and play a non-Logos card. But the other thing that actually can make it easy is to play and have the Sting in. Because what the Sting does is it keeps you from forging a key, which means when you have 7 or 6, you wouldn't forge, and then you would be able to build up, maybe if you got 1 Brobnar on, you can reap. It does take a little setting up to do. The great thing about this dragon, though, it says fight or reap, gain 1 amber, deal 5 damage to a creature. Holy cow. And it's a 12. So you're not afraid to fight with this thing. Put it next to a Sanctum guy who's got taunt, because you've got your cards down for that. And he's really going to be hard to deal with. Now, obviously, a Gateway to Dees, some other cards, Brobnar card. There's plenty of cards that can just wipe him off. But if you don't have one of those, you are going to have a hard time dealing with this dragon alone. So that's the Prime Statistician of Strathland. A really fun deck. The Brobnar are very beefy in this deck, and the Sanctum do a very good job of protecting and helping you build up to getting all those Brobnar out. So if you like this, hit subscribe, and we're going to keep bringing out more decks. We have a total of 12 so far that we're going to get out and get reviewed to you. If you see something in this deck that I missed, a combo, something like that, please comment below. I want to learn how to play this better, and I want people to learn how to use those combos better. So comment, let us know. Also, when we get to 100 subscribers, we are going to be giving away this set of demo keys that we got at the event. So subscribe, like us on Instagram and Twitter, and that will give you more opportunities to get into the giveaway for this. So stay tuned, and we'll bring more decks and more KeyForge to you.
I can't wait to see what's inside.
Okay, so